Imagine this. We've just landed somewhere new. New country, new city. You're feeling a bit lost, maybe, a bit overwhelmed. But then you manage just one or two words. A simple hello. And the person you say it to, they smile back. And suddenly, it's like a door just creaked open. That connection, that feeling of relief, maybe even a little bit of confidence. That's what we're diving into today. It's the surprising hidden power of, well, the simple English greeting. Our mission really is to unpack why these basic phrases matter so much more than we think, how they're a shortcut to, confident communication and even cultural understanding. And we're drawing insights today from an English learning program, English Made Easy for You, which really champions this idea. So let's start right there. The most obvious thing, maybe, is how greetings let you communicate instantly, right away. Even if that's all you know, hello, hi, good evening, you can actually start an interaction. What's really going on there in that moment when those first words sort of break the ice?
Well, it's fascinating, actually. Linguists sometimes talk about this idea of phatic communion. It sounds technical, but it just means using language mainly to connect socially, not just to swap information. A greeting isn't just saying words, it's like a social key. It signals, I see you, I acknowledge you, I'm open to maybe talking. It's incredibly efficient at cutting through that initial awkwardness.
That makes sense. That immediate, okay, we can interact feeling. And I think that leads right into this idea of small wins, building confidence. I'm sure you listening have felt that little buzz. You say a few words, get a good reaction, and you feel proud. It feels like a real step. The source we looked at gives a great example, just saying good morning to a neighbor, getting a smile back. That can feel huge.
Oh, absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And these aren't just like random nice moments. Think of them as critical micro-feedback loops.
Yeah.
When you try a greeting and it works, you get a response. Your brain actually registers that success. You get a little dopamine hit, that reward chemical. And that reinforces the behavior, makes you want to try again. So it's not just about feeling good for a second. It's building real momentum. It shows you progress is possible, even tiny steps. And that's fundamental for sticking with learning anything, really.
Well, those little dopamine hits add up. So these small successes feel good, they motivate. But do they also, build towards something bigger, structurally, in terms of the language itself?
They absolutely do, yeah. Think of greetings as the foundation stones, the very first layer you put down when building your language house, so to speak. Once you've mastered a few core greetings, you have this stable, predictable base. And then you can start adding things onto it, more vocabulary, different sentence structures. It's a really smart way to learn, actually, because it breaks down this massive task, learning a whole language into smaller, manageable chunks, or speech acts, as we like to call it.
Speech acts, okay.
Yeah. So you start with hi, simple. That may be, hi, my name is Ayaan. See? You're building on that foundation. It makes the whole thing feel much less scary, less overwhelming than trying to gulp down a dictionary all at once.
Okay, so they're confidence boosters and building blocks. Now, here's where I think it gets really interesting. The cultural side. It's kind of amazing how much a simple hello can teach you about, the unwritten rules of a place. Our source points out how common it is in English-speaking countries to greet people politely, even strangers sometimes. And it's more than just being nice.
Oh, definitely more.
Yeah.
It taps into what we could call an implicit social contract, or even cultural scripting. When you say good afternoon walking into a shop, or a casual hey to a friend you bump into, you're basically signaling that you understand and accept the local way of interacting. You value acknowledging people, being part of that shared social space.
Right.
It shows respect, openness, it smooths social interactions. And knowing this helps you fit in, even in a small way, and avoid maybe awkward moments or misunderstandings. You're participating in the local social rituals.
And within those rituals, there's a whole range of ways to say hello. It's not just one size fits all. You pretty quickly realize you need to navigate this spectrum, formal versus informal. Choosing the right one isn't just about vocabulary. It's about reading the situation, the social context.
Yeah, the source lays this out clearly. For more formal settings, you've got your good morning, good evening, maybe even the quite traditional how do you do, whoo! And then on the flip side, the informal stuff. Hey, what's up? Hi there. How's it going? Loads of options there.
And understanding that difference is just crucial. It's what we call pragmatic competence.
Pragmatic competence. Right?
Yeah. It means knowing how to use language appropriately for the situation. If you walk into a very formal job interview and say, what's up?
Yeah, probably not the best move.
Exactly. Or if you meet a close friend and greet them with a stiff, how do you do? It just sounds off, maybe even sarcastic or distant. So knowing which greeting fits it makes your communication so much more effective, more natural. It's like using the right key for the right social lock. So we've got the psychology, the language building, the cultural keys. But ultimately, all of this really just boils down to how incredibly practical greetings are. They're just used all the time, every day, in so many different places. They're kind of the background hum of daily life. You use them at school, starting your day, at work, greeting colleagues, when you're traveling, obviously. Even just, nodding hello to a neighbor as you take the bins out. They are everywhere. They're the little bits of linguistic glue holding interactions together.
Absolutely. It really hammers home the point that greetings aren't just easy to learn. They are, as the source says, super useful.
Hmm.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, it shows that even if you only know a tiny bit of a language, you can still do a lot with it in the real world. You don't need fluency to start connecting, to navigate basic situations, to reduce that social anxiety. They're just fundamentally useful tools, the ultimate social lubricant, perhaps.
So there it is. The surprisingly deep power packed into a simple English greeting. We've seen how they're like a social key for starting conversations, how they create these micro feedback loops for confidence, how they act as foundational building blocks for learning more language, how they unlock cultural scripts, and how they force you to develop that pragmatic competence, choosing the right level of formality. They really are so much more than just words. They're like these little gateways to connection and understanding.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with something to maybe chew on. How often do we just completely overlook the massive power hidden in these tiny, everyday interactions? Think about it. What other things, maybe words, maybe gestures, maybe simple daily rituals, might hold a similar kind of unacknowledged power? Power to connect us, to build our confidence, or to open up new ways of understanding. Not just in learning a language, but, in everything we do. Maybe the next time you just offer a simple hello, you'll pause for a second and appreciate the whole complex universe it carries with it.